I'm starting an adult 10-week art course today. It's over 10 weeks. You get 2 hours per class at £140. So I want to see how I get on, if I enjoyed it and the pros and cons. It's my first day today, so I'm just actually on the way to the class now. Um, I'll share with you at the end of the 10-week course how it went and whether I thought it was worth it and what I learnt from it. So, ciao for now.
They go up straight, horizontal, and looking at horizontals and verticals. No, well, I'm on a temporary contract.
Now, before I give my review, I should have said this before, but I didn't, I forgot. I'm just a novice painter. I've taken art up as a hobby, so I'm no expert. So the course I've gone on is a beginner's course. So don't expect if you were expecting some elaborate Picasso work from me, that's not what it was. I'm a beginner, so I'm reviewing this course as a novice beginner and what I thought I gained or didn't gain from this course. So we see from the review what happens next. So I'm going to categorize this into two sections, the pros and the cons, and I'll look at the negatives first because they are actually fewer than the positives, so that's a good start. My first negative, there's one of two. The 2 hour lesson wasn't really suitable for art. By the time we set up our equipment and put the equipment away, we lost half an hour. So we only had an hour and a half to complete an entire picture. We didn't carry it over to the second week, so I think we was kind of restricted with the time. The second thing was more about the art teacher herself. She was one of those kind of, those teachers where everyone's work's great, I love this, it's beautiful. So if you was to ask her, say, how do you think this is going? What do you think I can do better? Oh, it's lovely, it's beautiful, just carry on. So I know art is subjective and everyone's interpretation is different, but when you're on a course, I really wanted to try and learn some new skills and get some positive or negative feedback and advice. But our teacher was I don't want to call her people pleaser, maybe she was, but everything was, oh, it's great, it's beautiful. And even if we painted the most ridiculous thing, she would say it was totally fine and she loved it. So those are my two negative points. which isn't really bad considering it's a course of 10 weeks. Oh, the third negative, it's not really about the course. I actually picked the wrong course. I actually wanted just a painting course, but I couldn't find one, so I had to do painting and drawing. So I spent a lot of the time drawing, which I don't enjoy, and I wanted to learn more about painting. So that's not really the course's fault, that's really my fault. So let's move on to the positives instead. There was actually 5 positives. The first one would go for any course. You meet new people, you meet people who have obviously got a similar interest or hobby like you, so that's nice. And you meet all different levels. So we was in a beginner's course, but there's obviously some people that are a little bit better than the others, some complete beginners and novices. So that was really applicable to all courses. You're going to meet new people and people with like-minded interests and hobbies, so that's nice, and you can talk to them about shared interests. The second thing that I learned from this course was less is more. Now, with regards to painting, I like painting, so I do like quite detailed background and detailed main image, but what I learned from here that sometimes less is more. And I'll give you an example, because I'm working on this ballerina now, excuse the noise, and normally I would have quite a detailed background and a detailed main image, but now after this course I learned you can have maybe a plainer background and just focus on the main image itself. So less is more is quite a good skill to have learned. So I don't know if you can see carefully, I done the background quite plain and just focused more on the ballerina itself. So less is more. The third skill I learned from this art course was the importance of shadows and shadowing in drawings and pencils to help something look more 3D. So that was a very good skill to learn because you can make your image more 3-dimensional with some shadowing. So like on here, I focused some shadows just underneath where she's kind of sitting down. So that was a good skill. And before, when I'm kind of drawing or painting, I didn't really think about doing shadows. The third, no, is this the fourth now? Maybe the fourth. The fourth was about scales. So when you're looking at size and distance and proportion, so we had to use one of those image finders. So it's a little, I don't know how to describe it now, but it's kind of like this, and then a section is cut out and you kind of focus the image like this, and then you could use it for scaling and proportions. And also we used a pencil. I don't have one here, but for example like my finger, and you'd use it, you'd close your eye and you'd kind of use it to measure and proportion when you got like different objects. So that was quite a useful tool. It took me a little while to get used to it, but that was quite handy. And then the fifth and final thing was we got to use lots of mediums. So whereas I just like my new hobby, I like to do just painting with acrylics, we got to use chalk, charcoal, coloured chalk, watercolour, acrylic. So I got to use a lot of mediums, and then I was surprised that mediums that I didn't even think about, I actually really enjoyed using them. So that was a positive as well. Now I asked myself this question, would I do a adult course again? Yes, I would do one, but I have some tips. Firstly, research properly what the course is about, how much it's costing, what skills you're going to get from it. Because on this course, I actually only wanted a painting course. I couldn't find one, so I took this drawing and painting, but I lost like half the course on drawing skills, which I didn't really want to do. So bearing in mind it's your course and you want to gain something from it, make sure you research properly what course you're doing and what you're going to get out of it, because that's very important. The other thing I would say, look at location is important, because this course was actually far, so I lost so much time in traveling. I was stuck in traffic, sometimes I was getting late to the lesson in the evening because it's peak rush hour. So look at location. That's also very important. Cost, obviously cost, make sure you look at cost. So I would do another adult course again, an art course as well, but I need to make sure I research properly this time, so I get my money's worth and I'm actually doing something that I actually wanted to do. But overall, it was a positive experience, and I do recommend, if anyone wants to try an adult course, to do it. It's not too late, and if nothing else, it gets you out of the house. Win-win. Thanks for watching. Hope this has been helpful. Bye or ciao.